Hello, this is the TradeSite U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview and Domestic Economic Roadmap, Data Roadmap for the week beginning Monday the 30th of December 2019, ending Friday, January 3rd, 2020. Welcome to the next decade. Another holiday interrupted week right in the middle. It's going to be awkward. I would imagine Monday and Tuesday are going to be dead. Let's talk about all this. Let's look at the market first, then we'll talk about the spread and what's coming out. All right, so here's the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form, and we're going to wrap up the year at highs, of course, because once you're up for the year, they don't want to sell anything in the last 2 weeks. So nobody wants to lock in the tax gains. So we did have a negative day on Friday after we gapped up. So we made new highs for the year, but then closed negative on the day. We'll talk about the monthly chart in a minute. Let's look at the crude oil number up 4 cents to 61.72. Gold up $1.20. S&P cash literally closed actually up 0.11. So basically flat. NASDAQ was down 7.3, basically flat. SOX down 5.9, basically flat. Biotech lost 35.86. Russell 2000 loses 8.637. The VIX gains 78 cents on the session. Trend closes at 1.43. Puts the 10-day moving average at 1.06, so there's nothing there for us. NASDAQ volume was only 1.8 billion as expected. It's usually flat or light volume between Christmas and New Year's. Advance decline ratio on the NASDAQ, negative 686. More stocks down than up, negative 167 on the New York, and that's just barely more stocks down than up. Google loses $7.83. Apple down 11 cents. Netflix down $3.54. Amazon up $1.03. Tesla down 56 cents. Facebook up 31 cents. I mean, these are all flat for these stocks, really. Goldman Sachs down 55 cents, also flat. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down up 15 cents. The Dow was up 23. Everything's basically just flat. Now, what does this mean for next week? Well, okay, let's look at that monthly chart that I was talking about on the ES, because this is really the important one I've been focused on here for a bit. We did get a 13 sell signal in October. The risk line for that sell signal, which means you can go all the way up to that risk line and the signal's still in place, doesn't have to take a hold immediately. We're only 2 bars after the sell signal. The risk line's at 32.55, and we just closed at 32.37. We've seen many times where we will get to that risk line or even just above it, but you end up rolling after that. As long as you don't close above it and take out the high of that candle, the next candle, the risk line is in effect, the sell signal is in effect. This is going to put us in a really interesting place. I mean, the market has been, obviously, you can see this, on a tear since 2008, right? It was on a big run for 8 years. Then it started to flatten out a bit, and then the tax cuts kind of supercharged it. Probably didn't need to happen. We've racked up a lot of debt that has accounted for the GDP growth along with the tax cuts. But at the end of the day, this is a big run in the market from, I mean, you're literally up from 750 back in the beginning of 2009, 3,200, right? So we have more than quadrupled the markets here over the last decade. That is not usually a sustainable factor. So let's just keep that in mind. That 13 sell signal probably means interesting things for next year. All right. So with that said, let's look at the intra-week action. We'll go to 10-minute candles on the ES. And again, this is just, we were closed. So here's the very end of last week on the far left. Basically a small gap up Monday, filled and closed even. Tuesday was a half day for Christmas Eve. We didn't trade it. Flat, flat, flat. Wednesday was closed. Thursday we gapped up and went higher. Friday we gapped up and by the way, pushed higher at the end of it. Friday we gapped up and then pulled down immediately. Look at the 13 sell signal we had there on the ES. We also had one on the NQs right at the open. Tried to recover in the afternoon, sold off a bit late, and closed slightly green for the day, as we talked about. Here's the NASDAQ side, same deal, right? Again, just ignore the prior week. So there it is. This is the short week. All right, so what does this mean moving forward? And this is what's interesting. I mean, obviously you can expect Monday and Tuesday are a waste of time. Tuesday is a full day. Even though Christmas Eve was a half day, the market has to be open a full day on the last trading day of the year. So we will have a full day on Tuesday, but most people are already gone. The big players are not doing anything to adjust their accounts as we head into the end of the year. As I said, nobody wants to lock in gains with 2 days left and have to pay taxes on those in April instead of a year later. Wednesday, we're closed. The question is what happens Thursday and Friday, and we'll be here to check it out. But it may be that nothing happens because people are still on vacation. Was Zaman to come back for 2 days? That's a possibility that nothing will happen and it'll end up being a boring week like the last week, and then we'll get back to work the week after. However, just keep in mind it's always possible that things start to happen once the new year settles in. And keep in mind there's going to be some jockeying because all the stocks that drifted up here late in the year, think about Apple, right? Think about Google. Think about these stocks that came out and closed near highs for the year, Tesla. Nobody wants to sell these stocks today, Monday and Tuesday. They haven't wanted to sell them for a while, but they may be very eager to start selling them because the new year starts. Whether that means they're going to jump in Thursday and get to it, or just really gradually do it over the next couple weeks or whatever. But I would expect selling every time we see this set up in the market. It's usually a sell, and you've got that 13 sell signal on the ES on top of it on the monthly chart. So that's what I'd be prepared for. Is I think Monday and Tuesday will be a waste. We will be here Monday. I don't know if anybody will be here Tuesday. We will be here Thursday just in case. And if Thursday's a bust, then Friday's going to be a bust. And then either way, we're back to work the following week. And that's it. In terms of economic data coming out this week, we got the goods trade balance on Monday, preliminary wholesale inventories, Chicago PMI, pending home sales on Tuesday, the housing price index, and consumer confidence. As we said, we're closed Wednesday. Initial and continuing jobless claims on Thursday, final manufacturing PMI. And then on Friday, because we were closed Wednesday, we have everything else. So ISM manufacturing, construction spending, Ward's total vehicle sales, natty gas, crude oil inventories, and some Fed members are speaking. So that's the week ahead. Happy New Year to everybody. We hope you had a great year here at TradeSight. We know we did. Charts as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week and a great New Year.